Below on the hollow as we look at OKO Wrist Lock number 14. Similar to number 13, but our response is just going to be slightly different. So once again, this is in our 12 o'clock green zone, left foot slightly forward. And this is a when-then attack. When he grabs, then we respond. This is going to be our opponent's right hand to our left hand grab. As I respond, I'm going to step back naturally, pull down, and distraction strike as before. Now I am going to bring his arm across my body, and I can either use an up clock or an in-place stance change and an ankle change to bring the arm across my body. All right, once again, I'm going to strip his hand into a handshake grab and release my left hand through the gate of the thumb. I'm going to then contour up his arm. I'm going to follow the contour of his arm to strike either the iliac crest or the bladder to create a negative body posture of my opponent. My left hand is then going to once again contour up the arm and strike to begin placing his arm across my shoulder. And I'm going to finish that rotation with my foot maneuvers. So my goal, my intention is to get his armpit at my shoulder and have his arm dangling in front of me for me to control. So once again, from the front, distraction strike. Come across, strip, strike, strike. Now, in this particular case, with my foot maneuvers, I'm going to step with my left foot in front, bringing his arm up, and once his armpit is towards my left shoulder, I am going to up clock with my right leg towards 9 o'clock. Now I'm behind you, bringing his arm across. Let me grab a stick so we can take a look at what we're doing with the arm. Once again, his right arm and my left hand grab, step back, distraction strike. Up clock, bring the hand across and strip. I'm going to strike to the bladder, strike upwards. Now we have 3 points of contact. I'm going to step with my left foot to make sure I bring this arm up over my shoulder. Now my left hand is free to join my right at his wrist to expose the elbow and create this lock. My right foot up clocks, and now I can sink my hips and my weight, potentially even sitting on his right front leg to affect the throw. Once again, from, let's say, a different angle. Let's take it from this angle here. He grabs, step back, strike. Bring the arm across, strip. I'm going to strike to the bladder, strike up. I'm going to step across as the arm comes up, and that leaves my hand free to join my other hand and to use his arm as a fulcrum. I want to put him on his toes. Right foot is going to step back. I'm going to hug him to continue. If he wants to struggle, I can take baby steps back. Let's say, for instance, in your environment, there's a wall like behind me. If he's struggling and I have his arm, I can waddle this all the way back and pin him up against the wall. Good use of environment. Once I have his arm across my body, I can then sink my weight and then choose to step back with my right foot for a shoulder throw. Once again, once I have control, once he's on his tippy toes, I can choose to just rotate and throw, or to use my hips underneath his hips, stepping back slightly with the right, and throwing. Let's take a look at some of the concepts and principles here. So we have first off distance control. How I respond, whether I step back or I step direct into the opponent, is controlling the distance, also controlling how we're going to affect that arm. We have a distraction strike, as we've seen in almost all of the previous wrist locks. We have, once again, a handshake lock that turns into control. We're using an in-place stance change to step in front of our opponent, using our hip position. Preferably, if this is our opponent's hips, we want our hips, basically your belt, to be lower than his to allow you to create a fulcrum point to affect the throw. With that, this has been a look at OKO Wrist Lock number 14. Aloha, mahalo, and live bono.